What's up guys, how are you? Hope you're all fine. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking, or more specifically, the quote of today's video is going to be, you are not responsible for the version of yourself that exists in other people's mind. Therefore, the main topic is going to be how to just not care about what other people think about us. And so without further talking, let's hop into the topic. So, as the quote literally says, you are not responsible for the version of yourself that exists in other people's mind, because there are so many factors that will affect how somebody looks at you, how somebody perceives you, and not all those factors are your responsibility. I mean, there's a percentage that obviously has to do with how you've interacted with this person, how, your past experiences together have been. But the thing is also that we are just humans and we have our ups, we have our downs. Sometimes we just meet somebody and we're not at our best moment. Maybe you were in a rush, maybe you were sad, maybe you just heard something terrible, maybe whatever. And so you just meet someone and you're not at your fullest, capacity to interact with this person. And that person gets not the best version of yourself, let's just say it like this. And so they have in their mind this version of yourself who isn't who you are, but they got that version at that moment. And that's not your responsibility. I mean, yes, you did that, you talked like that, but I mean, you're human, you cannot blame yourself for that. But then there's also the factor, which is a very important one, and it's how each person perceives life and how each person perceives other people. Because depending on their experiences, depending on how they grew up, depending on how they see themselves, that's also going to be a reflection of how they see you. So maybe you're just somebody that is nice to everyone, and you talk to somebody and that person has a certain insecurity about themselves that they see reflected in you. And with that, I mean that you have something that they want. And so because they don't have it, they are always going to see you, let's just say it, with bad eyes. And that's also not your fault. So I hope you can understand with this that if you try to convince every single person that you're a good person, you're just going to be wasting your energy. Because yes, there's a percentage that's your responsibility, how you treat other people, how you interact with them. But then there's this other percentage, which is also very important and plays a big, huge, important part of how they perceive you, that you have no control over it. And so maybe you treat somebody with your best intentions and you do everything right and you're just such a nice person to that person. And despite that, they're still gonna hate you because, I don't know, maybe they envy you, maybe they were raised in a different way, maybe, so many maybes that have nothing to do with you. And if you try to put all your energy into making other people like you, you're just going to be wasting your time, your energy, your everything into nothing, because you're not going to achieve anything. So instead of being obsessed with how other people perceive you, just focus on being you. Because at the end of the day, it's just you with yourself. People come and go, and you're currently living your life and you're just living it for yourself. Or at least that's what you should be doing, not living it for other people. Because when the time comes and you're in your deathbed, you're going to be looking back at your life, and either you're going to be seeing how you lived your life fully, doing whatever you wanted, took all the risks that you wanted, did whatever you wanted, or you're going to be seeing how you wasted your life just trying to please every single person, trying to be liked by everybody, and probably failed at that. And even if you accomplish your mission of being liked by every single person, you're probably going to be upset with yourself, because that's not how you will want to have lived your life. I hope that sentence made sense. But yeah, so stop trying to focus on other people and just live your life for yourself, because life passes by so quickly. I've heard somebody old say that this person, when they said that, they were like at their 70s or something, and they were just talking about how even though they were so old and they had lived, well, 70s is not terribly old, but you know what I mean. But they were saying how even though they lived a very long life, for them, it just felt like they were just born yesterday, because life passes by so fast. And in a blink of an eye, you're going to be just probably at the end of your life. And you don't want to look back and think, oh my God, I regret so many things in my life. I know we hear that so often, that we have to live our life without regrets and, you know, the whole thing. But we never really, like, we know about it, but we never truly accept it and try to apply it. And so I'm here trying to encourage you and myself. Like, I'm here just giving advices, but I'm here also to take my own advices and live your life fully with your own terms. Let other people say whatever they want. Half of those people, in like 2 years or something, you're not going to even see them. They're not even going to be part of your life. So why do you have to waste your time and miss so many opportunities and live so miserably for people that are just going to continue with their lives and you're not going to even see? Do you truly understand how miserable that is? How terribly you're treating yourself, just depriving yourself from doing whatever you want, from, you know, living your life carelessly just for a couple of people that also are dealing with their own stuff. And so even if they think of you, they're just going to think about you for 3 seconds for the time that you're right in front of them. But then the second you're out of their sight, they're just going to be thinking about their own problems, because each person experiences the exact same thing. Just like you are right now thinking that you're the center, because you are your own center, but each person is also their own center, and they all think, what are other people think about me? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Do I look good? Do I look not good? I'm doing, you know, each person is dealing with their own battles and their insecurities and everything. And so even if they think about you, it's not going to be for such a long time. And you're just going to be paranoid for something that is, maybe some people even don't even notice it. And even if they do, let them think whatever they want, because you're not responsible for the way they see things. You're just responsible for how you interact with other people, how you talk to them, how you treat them, how you see life. And that's the only thing that matters. If you want to live your life freely, you need to let go of other people's opinion, because then you're not really living your own life. You're living life for them, for these other people. And you're literally the author and you're the main character in your own life. And if you're letting other people control what do you want, what you don't want, what you want to do, what you shouldn't do, then you're not living your own life. You're just a co-pilot in your own car, and you're letting other people take all the decisions for you. You're letting other people take you whatever they want. And then when you don't like it, when you feel miserable because you're doing things that you don't like, because you're in places where you don't like, where you feel like you don't belong, you actually have no one to blame, because you were the one who gave up the control and you just allowed them to dictate what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And if you try to blame somebody, they're just gonna point their fingers at you. So is that really the life that you want to live? Is that really? Because I feel like that's a very miserable life. That's a very wasteful way of living. And you don't deserve that. You deserve to live bluntly. You deserve to be your best version. So try to explore that. Try to just do whatever you want. And make sure that whatever you do makes you happy. If it doesn't, then take the other route. But never settle for anything. And more specifically and importantly, never do something just because what are other people gonna say? Because those people are gonna disappear from your life in a couple of months, years, days, whatever. And then once they're gone, you know, they're just gonna continue living their life, and you're just gonna stay where you are because you decided to not accomplish your dreams and do whatever you wanted for somebody who isn't in your life anymore. So keep that in mind whenever you try to hold yourself or restrain yourself from accomplishing whatever you want for somebody. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I got to enlighten you a little bit and encouraged you to just stop caring what other people think about you, because there are big chances that they're not thinking about you, and if they are, well, think about it as a compliment. I mean, you're such an important thing that you're taking up space in their minds, and they're living such a miserable life that your life, your persona, is more interesting and more important than themselves. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to take care of yourself, because you're the most important thing that you own. Bye.